The era of the inline four is dead, and with it, the last remnants of Yamaha's traditionalist philosophy have been buried in the gravel traps of history. For decades, the cross-plane roar was the soul of the M1, but in the shadows of 2026, a new, more visceral heartbeat has emerged from the Iwata factory. This isn't just a mechanical update, it's a radical confession that the old ways were no longer enough to stop the European onslaught. The new V4 engine represents a desperate, multi-million-dollar gamble to reclaim a throne that has been occupied by Ducati for far too long. Engineers reportedly worked in near-total isolation, whispering about a power delivery that feels less like a scalpel and more like a sledgehammer. It's a machine designed to be tamed by a rider who thrives on chaos, a rider who doesn't fear the edge of the abyss. But as the first fire-up echoed through the dyno rooms, a haunting question remained unanswered. While the engineers celebrated the dyno numbers, they knew the real test wasn't against a computer, but against a ghost at Mugello. Toprak Razgatlioglu does not ride a motorcycle. He wrestles it into submission with a level of gymnastic aggression that makes seasoned veterans look like Sunday cruisers. His arrival at the Prima Pramac Yamaha camp in early 2026 felt less like a transfer and more like a hostile takeover.
There is something profoundly human about his journey. A man who stayed in superbikes to honor his father's memory, now finally stepping into the lion's den of MotoGP at 29. Critics called him too old for a rookie, too accustomed to the forgiving slide of Pirelli tires to ever master the fickle, razor-thin limit of the Michelin slicks. Yet Toprak carries a quiet, almost mystical confidence that borders on the supernatural, ignoring the paddock politics in favor of raw, unadulterated speed. He is the underdog with a champion's aura, a man who treats a 350 km/h machine like a mountain bike. However, talent alone cannot break records. You need a venue that demands everything from the soul of the rider. Tuscany's rolling hills were shrouded in a cold, early morning mist when the Yamaha transport trucks arrived for their private session. Mugello is not just a circuit, it is a brutal, high-speed cathedral where reputations go to die and legends are forged in the slipstream of the Arabata corners. For a private test, the atmosphere was uncharacteristically tense, with Yamaha personnel reportedly sweeping the perimeter for any prying eyes or long-range lenses. This track, with its terrifyingly fast main street and undulating technical sectors, was chosen specifically because it punishes weaknesses in aerodynamic stability and engine braking. It is the home turf of Ducati, the very place where the red bikes usually reign supreme.
If Yamaha wanted to send a message, they had to do it here, in the heart of the enemy's territory, under the cover of a routine technical shakedown. But as the sun burned through the fog, the stopwatch began to tell a story that no one in the garage was prepared to believe. Reports began to filter out of the paddock like wildfire. A lap time so low it felt like a clerical error. Some suggested Toprak had not just beaten the existing record, but had shattered the benchmark set by Marc Marquez during the previous season's qualifying. While official timing transponders remained dark to the public, insiders whispered of a 1:43 low, a time that defies the laws of physics for a brand new engine configuration. To see a rider in his first few months on a V4 outpace the greatest of all time on a settled Ducati package is nothing short of a sporting miracle. Of course, without official validation, these numbers exist in a gray area of reports suggested and paddock chatter, yet the frantic energy within the Yamaha garage spoke louder than any press release ever could. The air was thick with the scent of burnt rubber and the realization that the status quo had been disrupted. News of this ghost lap didn't stay within the walls of the Yamaha box for long. It traveled straight to the ears of the king. Marc Marquez has seen it all, the broken bones, the career-ending crashes, and the rise of a dozen next big things.
But the rumors from Mugello reportedly struck a different chord with the 8-time champion. Marquez, now the veteran statesman of the Ducati fleet, knows better than anyone that a fast Yamaha is a threat to his very legacy. While he remained diplomatically calm in front of the cameras, sources close to the Ducati camps noted a sudden, intense focus on his own telemetry data. There is a certain irony in seeing the man who reinvented the sport now looking over his shoulder at a newcomer from the production racing world. Marquez understands that Toprak doesn't respect the established hierarchy.
The Turk doesn't care about the Marquez era. He only cares about the apex, and that is a mindset Marquez recognizes all too well in his own reflection. The rivalry was ignited before a single competitive light had even turned green, but the secret lay in the hardware. The shift to a V4 wasn't just about raw horsepower. It was about the dark art of mass centralization and the impact on corner exit drive. In the previous years, the inline-4 Yamaha suffered from a lack of punch when exiting slow turns, leaving their riders defenseless against the Ducati's acceleration. The 2026 V4 changes that equation entirely, providing a narrower profile that slices through the air at the end of the Mugello straight. However, this extra power comes at a cost: tire life.
Toprak's unique ability to use the rear brake to rotate the bike, a technique perfected in superbikes, seems to be the missing link in managing the V4's aggressive torque. By backing the bike in, he reduces the duration the tire spends on its edge, preserving the Michelin rubber for the final laps. It's a beautiful, violent synergy of Turkish flair and Japanese engineering that looks, quite frankly, terrifying from trackside. Yet, even with the best tech, the human body has limits that a machine cannot understand. In the world of 350 km/h prototypes, we must speak carefully about the limit. Any report of a record-breaking run at Mugello carries the inherent shadow of danger. Yamaha's testing protocol in 2026 has been described as clinical, focusing heavily on the new electronic rider aids designed to prevent the incidents that plagued earlier V4 development. Safety isn't just a checklist, it's a necessity when you have a rider like Toprak who lives on the front tire limit. While there were no reported incidents during the secret test, the sheer physical toll on the rider was evident. Witnesses described Toprak emerging from the pits looking drained but possessed, his leathers coated in a fine dust of carbon fiber and exertion. The recovery sessions between these high-intensity runs are just as critical as the laps themselves, ensuring the human pilot can keep up with the digital brain of the motorcycle.
The focus remained on the psychological warfare being waged through the timing screens. Let us be clear. In the world of MotoGP, a private test record is often wrapped in layers of exaggeration and team-sponsored hype. While some believed the times were legitimate, others pointed to the possibility of soft compound testing tires that aren't available during a standard race weekend. We must categorize these Mugello claims under unconfirmed reports until the lights go out in Buriram. Nothing is official until the transponders are live and the world is watching. However, the refusal of Yamaha management to deny the rumors is in itself a tactical move. In a sport where 80% of the battle is psychological, letting the paddock believe you have a magic bike is half the victory. They are playing a high-stakes game of poker, and for now, everyone is folding their hands in the face of Yamaha's silence. But if the rumors are even half true, the implications for the 2026 season are nothing short of cataclysmic. The ripples from the Mugello test have reached every corner of the grid, from the KTM headquarters in Austria to the Aprilia base in Noale. If Yamaha has truly unlocked the secret to V4 agility, the era of Ducati's numerical superiority might be coming to an end. We are seeing a shift in the gravity of the sport. Riders who once looked at Yamaha as a career dead end are suddenly making phone calls to their agents.
The human element of this story is the most compelling. The sight of a legendary Japanese giant finally waking up from a long, painful slumber. There is a sense of nervous excitement among the fans, a feeling that we are about to witness a collision of eras, the final peak of Marquez versus the meteoric rise of Toprak. The sport needs a villain, a hero, and a miracle. Right now, the Mugello test has provided all three. As the crates are packed for the first official test, the world waits for the smoke to clear. The time for secrets is almost over. When the paddock assembles in Thailand for the season opener, there will be no more private tests, no more unconfirmed reports, and no more shadow records. Toprak Razgatlioglu will line up on that grid with the weight of Yamaha's V4 project on his shoulders and the eyes of Marc Marquez fixed firmly on his back. Whether the Mugello record was a legend or a reality will be proven in the heat of battle, through the grit of overtaking and the management of 22 laps of pure adrenaline. We are standing on the precipice of a new golden age of Grand Prix racing, where the machines are more powerful than ever and the men who ride them are more daring. The record at Mugello might have been set in private, but the glory will be won in the light. The only question left is, who will blink first when the red lights go out?